Hi, I am Rachel from Cruising with the 4Bs. If you haven't stumbled across our channel before, we bring you lots of cruise content, looking at lots of different ships, giving you ship tours, room reviews, and generally just showing you what a family of 4 can get up to on a cruise ship. However, this series will be looking at a mini cruise that I did with 4 of my friends, and the differences and what I thought of it compared to any of the other cruises that I've done in the past. First of all, I went on MSC Virtuosa. So we do have a full ship tour of MSC Virtuosa up here, which we went on in April of this year. MSC Virtuosa will now be based in Southampton until possibly October 2023. Anyone who has a sailing on Grandiosa or Preziosa after November of this year, the ships will be changed to Virtuosa. So again, have a little look at that ship tour and then you'll be able to see exactly what it's like. As I say, they will be based in Southampton and they will be doing mini cruises, med cruises, Norway and Northern Europe. I went in September 2022 on MSC Virtuosa and we went to Cherbourg and Zeebrugge. I didn't actually get off in any of those ports because we are going on another cruise in October. I had the Aurora package when we were on the ship. We were actually upgraded, so we bid before we got on the ship. I think it was about a week before. So we put in a bid of £240, which would be split between 3 people, and then the other one was £140. So quite cheap really. You don't always get the upgrade if you've bid for it, so I was quite surprised that actually my 3 friends that were in one cabin, they were upgraded. They got an upgrade to a suite and the Aurora package. And actually MSC must have noticed that our bookings were linked, and myself and my other friend, we did get upgraded to the Aurora package. Embarkation when we actually got on the ship. So we had a boarding time of 12 PM. We turned up at about 11 in the morning at the Horizon terminal in Southampton. We literally turned up, they took our luggage off of us, walked through security. My friends were quite shocked, they've never been on a cruise before, so they weren't expecting actual full, almost like airport security when you go through. But we were literally through security, up the escalators and into check-in all within, I'd say, 5 minutes, and we were actually on board the ship really quick. I'd say it was 10 minutes start to finish of actually getting on board, which is the quickest that I've ever had it, and they were boarding passengers up until 5 PM on the day. Really quick, really efficient. The one thing, so if you have any problems when you get to check-in, so we'd been upgraded to the Aurora package, and actually all of our cards still said that we were on the Bella experience. They can't do anything at the front desk. They don't have a clue about any of that. So as soon as you get on board, you just need to head straight to guest services, and they'll be able to update anything for you or have a look on the system to see what package you are actually on. Just making sure that when you embark, you've got your COVID passport with you, which you can download to your phone or you can have a paper copy of. Make sure you've got your travel insurance, make sure you've got your health declaration all filled in. They'll take a little security photo of you and then they give you your cards and you're away, and you get to get straight on board the ship and straight into that buffet if that's what you fancy. A bit about the ship. MSC are known for being very grand. I'd say before you get on, just think bling, and everything is really very sparkly. The Swarovski staircases everywhere. Everything's very pretty to look at. I wouldn't like to try and clean it. There's a lot of glass everywhere. But yeah, a really, really beautiful ship, and you walk in and you just go, wow, this is absolutely amazing. It's so beautiful. And you've got the ceiling, which is the Galleria, and it is just, wow, I can't even explain it. You'd need to go on board to have a look, and it changes continuously. If you have a look at our Instagram, there'll be a little link here. You can have a look at some of the photos that I've taken of the different scenery that appears on there every evening, and they do shows on it as well. So what else is on the ship? So for me, This time round was really different because I was obviously on board with friends and I didn't have the children with me, so I got to experience different areas that I hadn't done before. However, we did go straight to the high ropes and we had great fun on them. So that's one massive thing. The first thing we did as soon as we got on board, and again, because I'd been on board before, I knew this, you just need to go up to the deck where the high ropes are and where the pool is, where the water park is, and you need to sign a disclaimer. They'll give you a band and then you basically can go in the water park or on the high ropes whenever you want, as long as you have that band on and they know that you have signed that disclaimer. Rob the robot, we did see him in action on our last cruise. We didn't this time, but he's pretty spectacular. And yeah, just something really different actually that you wouldn't ever see on any other cruise ship. Again, as I said, we have a full ship tour of Virtuosa, so if you want to check that out, have a little look up there. And if you would consider subscribing to our channel, we'd really appreciate it. It would help us to grow and obviously bring you more cruise content. Something that was different for me going on board this time was the fact that I wasn't with Tom and the kids, I was with my friends. So as I said, 5 of us went together. 3 in one cabin and then myself and my friend in another cabin. So the cabin, we had a deluxe balcony cabin. We did have a view of the lifeboats, but it was generally, it was a nice room. They're really practical. There will be a room tour coming up soon. And also we will be having a look at the Aurora experience versus the yacht club. So if you don't know about Yacht Club, stay tuned and we can tell you exactly what Yacht Club is. Or if you've stayed in Yacht Club before and you want to give us a little bit of an opinion, then just leave us a little comment in underneath this video and let us know what you thought. We were on the Aurora package and we also had the drinks package included. So for some reason our travel agent, the lovely Jan at Crossy Travellers on Instagram, she manages to get us the drinks package on all of the MSC cruises that we go on, which is pretty good really. It just takes a lot of that stress away of thinking, oh God, what have I spent? And you can have a look at anything on the menu, anything under £14 you can basically order within your drinks package. So I'm not a massive drinker, but I'd say it's good value for money, and if you are going to purchase it, see if you can get a good deal beforehand before you get on the ship, or whoever's booking for you, if you can book it initially when you book your cruise, you may be able to get it a little bit cheaper. The plus points to it are you get 1 hour's access to the spa. So as I said, we paid £80 in our upgrade bid. Well, 3 of them paid £80, and if you just wanted to have half a day in the spa, it's £70 basically. So on a 3-night cruise, we were able to go in the spa for 1 hour a day, and actually, maybe I shouldn't say this, but no one was coming in to check how long we had been in there. And I think the second time we were in there, we were actually in there for 1.5 hours because nobody had a watch on. The spa was really, really worth it. I didn't really get to experience it the last time that we were on board, but it's a really lovely spa, really relaxing place, and lots of different facilities within. So the other part of the Aurea package is the My Time dining. So you basically get your own choice of what time you want to eat. We were given the 8:30 sitting originally, which actually we did tend to go at that time anyway, so it wouldn't have really made a big difference. But yeah, it's just, you can, if you've got kids, one night you may want to eat earlier, you may want to eat a little bit later. So it does give you that flexibility of not having to be rushing because you've got to be at dinner at a certain time. So that part is definitely worth it. And then you also have your own private area on the ship. Not a massive area, it's got a little whirlpool in it. Short cruises, are they worth it? And what do I think of them? Short cruises, I think, so we've done Virgin and then we've done MSC twice on a short cruise. I do feel a little bit like you do a short cruise and you come off of it absolutely shattered because you've just tried to pack so much into that short time that you are actually on board. But worth it if you just want to have a little bit of a, none of my friends, as I said, had been on a cruise before, apart from one. So for them, it just gave them a little taster of what cruising was like. They were really shocked. The comment I kept getting was, I didn't realise it'd be so lively on a cruise ship. I thought cruising was for old people, which is what you hear all the time. And anyone who's a regular cruiser, we know that there are so many different liners and they all offer something different. Booze cruise, that is what it felt like, that we were just on a massive booze cruise. However, again, I saw a very different side. Obviously, the last time I went with Tom and the kids, we weren't in all of the areas that all of the adults would be, so we were quite often away from all of that action, whereas this time I was right in the thick of it, so I think I noticed it a little bit more than I would have done before. But for me, I quite like a nice relaxed vibe, and I like to be able to sit and relax and have a little bit of quiet and not too much crowding, which on Virtuosa, I mean, the capacity is 4,500, so it's a massive ship, and I'm pretty sure it was very full this time around. In an evening, if you were on the broadwalk, you couldn't get through really. I actually at one point went up to the other end of the ship to cross to then get back down again so I could get to the other side to find my friends, because that's just how busy it was. You just couldn't get through anywhere. The vibe on board was a party vibe. As I say, it was like a booze cruise. There were lots of people having lots of fun. So yeah, it was really good fun. And it was nice to experience it with just adults and just get a different view really of what cruising can be about. Would I do it again? I think I'd really like to do another short cruise with Tom and myself, which actually we are doing next year, just so for myself and him to experience just the adult bits without the kids, I think would be really, really nice. But short cruises, I think, are not overly for me. I think 4 or 5 nights is a nice time, but 3 nights, I'm absolutely shattered. And I've been back for 2 days, but yeah, I packed a lot in and I had a lot of fun. To the service, MSC quite often get a bit of a bad rep for their customer service because a lot of the staff at times can be quite rude. However, this time, I saw a little bit of why. So when we first got on board, I went to guest services, and the gentleman that was serving me in customer services, I think his name was Mufasa, he was absolutely lovely, really, really helpful, and got straight on with what I was asking him to do, tried to look through everything. Unfortunately, they were unable to access the computer system. So my card should now be a silver card, however, it was still showing as classic, even though in my app I could see that I had the points to be on the silver. So I wasn't really bothered. I wasn't going to be using all of those benefits from that card anyway. And we're going back on MSC in a couple of weeks, so I know that I will get the card then. However, literally the whole of reception, every single person that was along was moaning, shouting, and being really, really rude to customer services, well, guest services, telling them that they were useless, things weren't being done, why weren't they being done, and I really, really felt sorry for them. I almost just wanted to say, you're on holiday, just relax and it'll get sorted. There's just no need for rudeness, I think. There's a way of, you can get a point across without shouting in somebody's face. Front desk, as I say, they were absolutely brilliant. They swapped all of our cards for us straight away, made sure that they no longer said Bella Experience, they said the Aurora package. On to restaurant staff. It's really terrible. I didn't remember what our waiter's name was. I didn't actually check it. But he was absolutely brilliant, really, really friendly. He made sure, so on the first night it was quite funny. We were all sat around a table and I was served last. And then every other night he made sure that he came to me first. I was served, and the wine that I was drinking, it wasn't on the menu every night, but he made sure there was a bottle of the wine that I was drinking, made sure my glass was topped up continuously, your water's topped up continuously. Anything that you ask for, they will do it. Another quite interesting thing, so I was with my friends and I said, actually, I want to tip them. And one of their responses was, well, they're not allowed to accept tips. They are allowed to accept tips. Or maybe they're not allowed to accept tips. Again, give us a little comment if they're not allowed to, but he was really, really grateful that I gave him a tip at the end of the 3 nights. And I just think it makes a big difference to them, really. Lastly, with staff, onto the cabin attendant. I didn't really see her. On the last day, she came to our room and she said she was a bit tired, so she was going to come back at 6 o'clock in the evening to sort our room out, which wasn't very practical because we were going to be getting ready in our room at that point. But the room was clean, it was tidy, so no complaints there. We didn't have enough towels. I did have to ask 3 times for towels to be put in the room. Bar service, so a lot of people in a lot of the forums that we've been in, especially for this cruise that I've just been on, were saying how difficult it was to get served a drink. I didn't have a problem at all. I don't tend to go to the bar to wait for a drink anyway. Just kind of sit down, ask for someone, and they will take your drinks order. Sometimes it can take a long time. However, when I was in the casino, I was drinking Budweiser, so I know that's a really easy drink to make and it comes really, really quick. So if you are ordering a cocktail and they've got a list of 20 cocktails that they're making for all of the orders to come through, then expect to wait a little bit longer. But for me, it wasn't an issue, and actually I found it easier this time round getting served for a drink than I did the last time when I went with Tom and the kids. So yeah, that was a plus for me. Food on board. So when we went on MSC Virtuosa back in April, I was really not very impressed with the food. I just thought the standard was very below par. However, this time, the food was excellent. I couldn't complain about any of it. So most days we went into the main buffet for breakfast. Now, picking the time that you go into the buffet is really important. So the first morning we went into the buffet, I think we got there about 11:15, and it was so busy that I just didn't even bother getting any breakfast because I didn't want to try and push my way through the queues of people. So that was, yeah, not a good time to go. However, the next morning we went in about 10 o'clock and it was a lot quieter. There weren't massive queues everywhere and you could just get straight to all of the counters to get whatever you wanted. Lunchtime, we generally went into the buffet again. Again, it is really busy and it's choosing that time that you want to go in. If you're quite happy to queue and be stuck in with a load of people, that's fine, but it can be quite difficult to find a table. You obviously do have the option of eating in the MDR for breakfast and for lunch. We did eat in the MDR on the last morning for breakfast, but for lunch we were just a little bit too late each day getting into the lunch, so that's hence why we went into the buffet. And then dinner, we ate in the MDR every night. Food was brilliant. You can order, the thing I love about cruising is if there's a few things that you want to try, you can order all of them and try all of them, and the waiters don't have any problem with you doing that. If you want to swap something out, for instance, you want more vegetables or you don't want your potatoes, just tell them and they will get that sorted straight away with no problems whatsoever. Entertainment. So again, obviously going with friends as opposed to going with the kids, the entertainment was very different for me because I wasn't having to entertain small children in a swimming pool or go into the sports complex continuously with them, and actually we just did our own thing. So in the daytime there wasn't really a lot going on at all. Dance classes, so if you want to go and learn a new dance, there's quite a few of those going on in the daytime that you can attend. Quizzes, so there were 2 quizzes on one day, which were a logo quiz and a theme tune quiz. I mean, to be honest, the logo quiz was, it took about 10 minutes. So I was thinking, oh, this would be nice, we'll go and sit down and do that. But there was like 10 questions. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. Other than that, there wasn't really that much going on entertainment wise. Whether that's because it was a shorter cruise and they just assume everyone's getting off, or as it's a bit booze cruisy, everyone's just going to be entertaining themselves, I'm not sure. Or whether I just didn't see any of those activities happening. But there's enough on board that you can entertain yourselves. You don't need them to be putting on entertainment for you all the time. And obviously you can get off the ship and you can go and explore and do what you want, really. Theme nights, so MSC are really bad at communicating theme nights. So when we went on board first time round, we had no idea about the different theme nights and that there was a white night, we didn't have anything white packed. However, this time I knew that there was a white night, so managed to get everything organised, told my friends they all needed to wear a white outfit. However, before as well, it did say that on this cruise there was meant to be a casual night, a white night and an elegant night. However, there wasn't. There was 2 casual nights and 1 white night. But the majority of people, even on a casual night, I think the thing I do love about MSC is you can be as dressed up as you want and not feel like you look out of place, and as dressed down as you like without feeling like you look out of place, if that makes any sense. But it was nice for me actually this time around to be able to dress up and put some nice clothes on and do my makeup, which, I mean, obviously I normally try when I'm with Tom and the kids, but no, it was just nice to feel like I was going on a night out, if that makes sense. And just on the point of the other entertainment, so the entertainment was all exactly the same as it had been on Virtuosa back in April, and it was all the same shows that I'd seen on Seaview as well. So I wasn't really very impressed with that. And actually the cast on Seaview, the singers had amazing voices, and the shows were still really random. I still say it's like everyone is dressed up like someone from the Village People. But this time round, and I think it was the same cast as when we went on Virtuosa before, so the standard just wasn't up there. I don't think personally. And as I say, we only ended up going to one of the shows, because the next one I was like, oh, I've seen it, we can go and watch it, but we can also do other things, so that's what we did. Carousel production at sea. So on all the other MSC cruises we have done, we haven't yet done any of the carousel productions. Really worth it. So it's an extra charge. They normally have 2 shows. Not all ships have the carousel, but Virtuosa does. So we had the choice between 2 shows, and the way that the lady described them was, if you like chess, watch one, because it's about 2 kings who fall in love with the same queen, and it's all based around chess. And then the other one, which we saw, which was called Archmea, the Hidden World. And it was basically loads of acrobatics, like the scenery and the whole production was just brilliant. And you get a free cocktail included with that as well. If you pay before you get on board, it's £9. If you pay when you're on board, it's £15. So top tip, book it before you get on board the ship. And it was really worth the money. I thought it was excellent. I did go in the casino both nights. Well, we were there on the 3 nights. I went on the casino on the second and the last night. I've never actually been in a casino on a cruise ship before, so it was quite different. Obviously I've walked through them, but I've never actually done any betting, so I did have a little bit of beginner's luck. Going in the casino, if you're going just with a group of friends, it's great fun. It's a really good atmosphere. Obviously, if you lose a lot of money, it's a bit rubbish. And you just use your room key to put into the machines, or you can use cash. And then when you win anything, you just take your ticket up to the desk, and then they give it all back in cash, which I wasn't really, I don't know what I was expecting. I think I was expecting it maybe to be put onto your room, but it wasn't. It was given in cash, which was really good. Casino, great fun. Few hints and tips from me when cruising, whether it be cruising with a family or cruising on your own with friends. Anything you want to get done on the ship, I'd suggest booking it before you actually board the ship. So when you are on board, you can book all of the restaurants and everything. However, when we did go on board, we didn't book anything. Had we done it before, it would have been all sorted. So yeah, and especially because then you've just got the costs covered before you get on, so it just makes a little bit of a difference. Another tip, get the drinks package. It's definitely worth it. Try and bid for an upgrade if you can, and if you get it, even better. I'm not sure what percentage of people actually get it, so if you have had an upgrade, if you could just leave us a comment and let us know what you were upgraded to and what bid you put in. That would be really interesting, just to find out how many people are actually successful when they put a bid in. And I'm a bit gutted because we did have the option to bid for the yacht club, and hindsight is a wonderful thing, but because there was 5 of us, only one cabin had the option of upgrading to the yacht club, which was why we didn't do it. And the other cabin did then get the option for the yacht club, but it had gone from like a £70 minimum bid to a £700 minimum bid. So obviously we didn't do that. If you want to change your dining time, go straight to the restaurant and see if you can do that as soon as you board. This time round, actually, a lot of people seem to be eating earlier as opposed to later, which was very different from when we went on Seaview. If you want to get off the ship, obviously just making sure that you are up bright and early, so that you can go off and explore and do your own things. So this time round, the ship, you had to be back on board by 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so there wasn't that much time if we'd wanted to go into Bruges, for instance. I just don't feel like it gave you enough time not to worry about getting back and forth. In summary, for my 3-day cruise on MSC Virtuosa, would I do Virtuosa again? No. The reason for this would be that I've done MSC Virtuosa twice now, and I'd really like the opportunity to explore different ships. Obviously, if it came up again and there was an absolutely amazing deal, then I would be willing to go on again. Would I recommend it? Definitely. It's an excellent taster cruise. I think my friends who were on board with me, it gave them a good insight into what cruising is all about and whether or not they would like to try it again with their families. So yeah, highly recommend MSC Virtuosa. The best thing about the cruise was, I'd have to say, going in the casino and the White Night. White Night was really good fun. So they had a silent disco. Thank you for watching my little review on MSC Virtuosa without children and just with my friends. If you could leave us a comment, we'd really appreciate it, and if you would consider subscribing to our channel, again, we would really appreciate it. It really helps our channel to grow, and it means that we can keep doing what we love doing. So yeah, thank you. So I've been Rachel from Cruising with 4Bs, and I hope that you will be tuning in a couple of weeks. So we will have a room tour, and we would be doing a little bit about Aurora versus Yacht Club and the differences between the two. Up here we have our, again, MSC Virtuosa ship tour, and then we have our MSC Seaview ship tour. So if you want to watch both of those, if you're planning on going on MSC, you'll just see how different the ships are as well, which I just think is a really good thing, that you can actually look at that before going on board. Bye for now.